Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I'd like to talk about mind over matter. So, just as a thought, I'd asked a few people to help me understand their take on mind over matter, and almost as expected, almost all of them came with some understanding of a positive effect of mind over matter. Some cited few examples of courage with regards to mind working over matter. An act of bravery that happens when mind takes over matter, or rather when the mind is in the driver's seat. Quite naturally followed by the matter, which essentially is assumed to be the body. Then there was somebody else who cited the example of climbing Mount Everest against all odds, just through the sheer will of the mind, taking the matter to the heights of Mount Everest. Someone even talked about the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, wherein the sympathetic nervous system that is driven by emotions tend to outrun us first. And it's only when the parasympathetic nervous system comes into the picture, which essentially is the higher order thinking part of us that comes into the picture, that it takes over the matter, that it takes over a part of us trying to slow it down a bit when it's being outrun by emotions. Someone even said that it's far too complicated for them and that they probably have no idea about it, that they probably would not be the right person to give an appropriate answer. And in my perspective, to a degree, that's true. That if the mind is in the driver's seat, the matter can be led to achieve things, to accomplish things, to do things that it did not think possible. I would like to emphasize on the word to a degree, because when I watched this particular video for the nth number of time, which I'll be attaching with the links below, of this lady Jenny Haynes and her life and all of the 2,500 personalities residing within her body, I came to understand the mind-body connection in a very different light. I came to look at the mind-matter connection in a very different light, through a very different lens. It's a life story of a person who was very brutally abused by her own father and had to create an army of 2,500 people in order to safeguard herself, in order to keep her alive and her sanity intact to a great degree. It was a survival mechanism developed in tandem with matter and mind to help her deal with her trauma so that she doesn't get overwhelmed by it, so that she survives through it. And when she talks of 2,500 personalities within her body, it's quite naturally talking of dissociative identity disorder or multiple personality disorder, as it used to be called earlier. A similar kind of a thing, wherein a person is trying to cope up with their trauma, has also been shown in the movie Split, which was released in 2016, which brought me to a few questions. Was it mind over matter that was trying to protect this individual or these individuals? Or was it matter befriending the mind just to stay alive? Or was it mind and matter defending and befriending each other to protect itself and try and keep its sanity alive? Which brought me to another question as to what is the mind. And in order to get a better understanding of what the mind is about, because it's intangible, I heard Dr. Dan Siegel explain it in a way that has not been done before, at least in my perspective has not been done before. And this is what his definition of mind is. Mind is an embodied and a relational process. Now the word embodied has a lot of significance here. It's an embodied and a relational process that regulates the flow of energy and information. It regulates the flow of energy and information. The word regulation being important here. And since it's embodied and since it's relational, it quite naturally has to be a shared experience as well. And as I kept reflecting on it, a healthy mind, in my perspective, is not just a personal embodied experience, but it's also an embodied experience within and through healthy relationships, which in my personal understanding encapsulates our concept, the human concept of us being a biopsychosocial creature. And it also encapsulates the idea of a holistic, a wholesome mind. Which reminds me of the quote by Jittu Krishnamurti, "You cannot expect an individual to be healthy in an unhealthy society." And reflecting on that also made me question as to why have we still compartmentalized the mind and the matter? Why do we not see it as one whole integrated system? Why do we not see it as an interconnected, overlapping system? Why is there still a disconnect in our own heads, in our own brains, between the interworking of the mind and the matter? For the interconnectivity of the mind and the matter has been beautifully expressed by Anita Moorjani, the writer of Dying to Be Me, and Dr. Gabor on multiple occasions on us being a biopsychosocial creature. And as I took a little time to reflect on all of this, it gave me a beautiful insight into the movie Tears in the Tea, wherein I had failed to notice that this particular therapist was not just providing verbal therapies to the client being Kaira, played by Alia Bhatt, but he was also at the same time working on the matter itself, on the body as well, because healing in any form is a holistic process. When he took her out on the therapy sessions, whether it was on the beach or having a bike ride, he was also not just talking to her, but he was also working on her body. Because as Dr. Bessel van der Kolk would say, the body keeps the score. And if we do not address both of these together, holistic, wholesome healing is very, very difficult to be accomplished. And since the body keeps the score of all of the traumas that we remember or do not remember, the effects of the trauma has also got to be dealt on the somatic level, on the level of the matter, on the level of the body. It has also been beautifully depicted in the movie PK, wherein when Anushka Sharma is feeling sad, she's told by her friend PK to start moving her body in a dance format, wherein he asks her to follow him as he's moving his body. And it's only when we understand the wholesomeness of this connection can we bring about holistic integration. Can we understand health in a holistic way? For the root word for health is also heal, is also wholesomeness. So before I once again share my perspectives the next week, kindly check out the links that I've attached with this video to understand the complex and the interweaving beautiful aspects of the mind and the matter. To understand that it's one whole unit working together, interacting with one another. To understand that mind is both an embodied relational process. To understand that working in a holistic way requires us to have an integrated approach towards mind and the matter. Let's try and think about all of those aspects, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share and subscribe.